So to answer your question, where you should start, I feel like you should really think about what you already have, because what you already have has momentum. And to me, in life and business, momentum is everything. So if you've already got a business, you have a platform to start with. And unless you just hate it, it can be really fun to add this stuff to it. So in that case, I'd say go around the acquisition wheel and start there, right? And start with whatever you need most for that business. That's why I've got the things that say, do you want market share? Do you want leads? Do you want margin? Whatever that is, do you want to increase lifetime customer value? That's the way to do that. If you're bored with everything in that business, then acquire some IP, right? Start with innovation. But if you don't have a business and you're just kind of like, I have no idea what to do, I think it always helps to start in an area that you have experience in, or that you have a partner or can partner with someone that has experience in, and that you enjoy. To me, enjoyment is really key to everything in life as far as success is concerned. So just don't get into something just for the money. That's the worst reason to do it. But a few hot sectors for 2021 that are especially good right now is travel is coming back, right? As vaccines get distributed, we're looking in third quarter, fourth quarter of 2021 for travel to come back super, super strong. And it's starting to pick up already. So it's a great time to look at travel-based businesses. Entertainment also, clearly, from all of the time that we've been not in production in major motion picture studios and things like that, all the time that everyone's been kind of bottled up at home, they want to get out again, right? So as soon as we can feel safe getting out again, as soon as everyone can feel safe getting out again, you'll see entertainment really take off. And it's depressed right now. So we really like travel and entertainment because they are artificially depressed as a result of the pandemic. Software has continued to boom. Most of the software companies that I own or I consult with as an advisor are up 2, 3, 4, 7 times, right? It's really booming. It has been popular for the past 10, 15 years, and there's nothing that is slowing down on there. So I love software, particularly software as a service, because it has recurring revenue. Remote work, a lot of businesses have gone remote because of the pandemic. So you have a whole lot of people who are trying to figure out how they take their businesses remote and they don't know how, or they have taken their businesses remote and they need help with that. So anything that enables remote work, anything that supports it, consultants, people who will advise and talk about that. How do you engage remote working employees? What's a remote work culture look like? All of those kinds of companies are going to be in really, really strong demand. Retail will bounce back as well. So we have a lot of opportunity now for struggling retailers who maybe don't feel up to going through what they're going to have to go through as things recover. They got hit so hard. There's a lot of opportunities there right now. Insurance is very strong. Financial services continues to be very strong. Manufacturing, particularly localized manufacturing. So wherever you are in the world, if you're in the United States, and you've got people who have had supply chain disruptions because they were buying from Mexico, China, Vietnam, all of these other places that things get manufactured because the rates are generally considered lower. It's a fantastic time. You'll see here in the States with the new administration, you'll see manufacturing incentives. You'll see a lot of experienced sellers who are going to want to diversify their supply chain, and they don't want to just depend on foreign manufacturers. So even if they start doing a manufacturing supplier mix of 10, 20, 30, 40% US, they'll have a blended manufacturing strategy. Also, you'll see people moving from just-in-time manufacturing, which is a very efficient way to sell. So you're only having your things that you're going to sell arrive right as you need them to sell. But the challenge with that is if there's an interruption in the supply chain, you have nothing to sell. So you're going to see some balance back towards that. So I think manufacturing super strong. Tech continues to be really strong. It's just a fantastic place to acquire as long as you can acquire reasonably. A couple other places, media. I told you, anybody that's aggregated the attention and eyeballs of your ideal customer profile, that's always going to be good because you're going to get leads. You'll see more and more media mergers, deals. Telecom, You might not be able to buy a giant telecom company, but I can tell you that you can start a telecom company with not a lot of effort, right? You can have, I know Richard Branson started Virgin Mobile simply by licensing, because the people who have all the infrastructure are actually required to make available under fairness laws the access to those infrastructures at reasonable rates. And so rather than Virgin building a whole bunch of towers, what they started out was they just licensed it. They just basically bought time and arbitrage the time. That might not be right for you, but again, remember that all of the peripheral stuff for each of these industries applies. So if you apply the wheel, the M&A wheel that I shared with you, to telecom or entertainment or retail or tech or any of these things, there's a lot of businesses and assets that are around those industries that you can acquire that aren't going to be, $400 million. Okay. So there'll be telecom newsletters, there'll be telecom suppliers, there'll be component part suppliers, there'll be distributors, there'll be affiliates. There's a lot of opportunity in all of these things. Also, IoT. IoT stands for the Internet of Things. And the Internet of Things, that's all of the communications that anything like, a keyboard synthesizer that gets its updates automatically, our refrigerator and not washing machine, our washing machine is too, but our dishwasher automatically keeps track of the amount of dishwashing pods and rinse that we use. When we go through a package of them, it places the order in advance automatically with Amazon so that it ships automatically. That is Internet of Things. That's huge, right? It's huge, 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 and lots of opportunities there. We have a lot of people who have gone through Epic that have partnered up to do IoT deals. Also, automobile technology. I know that Apple just recently announced a partnership with Kia to produce the Apple Car. There are going to be more and more tech-enabled devices that are applicable to automobiles. That's a huge, huge, huge industry. Also, just any kind of tech enablement. I mentioned yesterday, I mentioned that digital marketing agencies, for example, that might sell for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times profits or EBITDA, are selling as tech-enabled companies where they've got internal defensible intellectual property that is some sort of technological advantage for them, that they're selling at 10, 11 times, right? And sometimes 10, 11 times revenue. It's kind of crazy. Telehealth has become huge. People who don't want to go out to the doctor and people who couldn't go out to the doctor, that's growing worldwide. Also, healthcare, obviously, for all the challenges that have come about as a result of the pandemic. Fintech, which is financial technology, continues to be hot. AI, artificial intelligence, and VR, virtual reality, continue to be big, as does augmented reality, which is like, it kind of blends the two, like Pokemon Go, I think, is the best example of augmented reality. In a retail space, Wayfair would be a great example. Wayfair, you can take the Wayfair app on your phone and pick the sofa that you like, and then take a picture of your room or hold your camera up in the room and move the sofa around and see where it would look good. That's really still very, very hot and very, very nascent. Data centers, because the huge demand from all of the increase in online activity has created so much demand and stress on the technological infrastructure for online generally. Data centers have become really fantastic investments. And I know we got involved with one a few years back, and it sold for an insane multiple. It was just shocking, the value that's in those things. Alternative energy, very, very hot. Cybersecurity, because of increasing concerns about hacking into everything from meetings like on Zoom to anything that you can imagine for particularly secure online payment systems and transactions. That's a big area. And according to Ibis World, there are several industries that were very, very hot in 2019 and 2020. Ibis World is one of the resources that I gave you that we subscribe to that are, to me, very, very likely to return, these industries. So if you think about what were the fastest growing industries in 2019 and 2020, those are very likely to come back very strong as people get back out into the world. So musical groups and artists up 170% during that time. Movie theaters, obviously, we haven't been able to go for a long time, up 147% during that time. Airport operations, 74. Casinos, tour operators in the United States. To me, that's going to be a very big one, because so many of those places were mom and pop and went out of business. Sightseeing, transportation will be the same. Travel agencies, obviously, all three of those very related to the ability to just get out and about. International airlines and chain restaurants and hotels and motels. So that's a very long answer to your question, but I wanted to be thorough and give you guys a lot of ideas and show you what is really, really hot right now.